Hi, so someone asked me if I could go over my decision-making process for the mid game, and I suppose I'm around 2 to 3 Q, so it's not, you know, super revelatory, but I suppose it is helpful to see what the next step is like if you're at like 8 to 9 Q. And I think my opening is fairly decent in general, so I hope this is still helpful. Also, I really need to shave before I go back to the Congress. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. So I was black. No, wait, I was white. This is a Joseki that I'm pretty often and regularly playing, and you will, if I do more of these analysis for the tournament games, you will see this Joseki pretty often. So basically, if you play a high or a low approach to 4-3, your opponent always has a chance to pincer, and I just really don't like any of the running variations that come out of this. So I try to avoid this whenever possible. And the 3-4 attachment has many nice follow-ups, and there are many Jisekis that you should learn to play this effectively. But in this case, I just took this very light move, which makes some very nice and light shape. And I can just leave this shape here for the time being. So, while we take care of the rest of the board, I always have options to turn this into a wall later on, to potentially cut off the top side, or just give up any of those stones and just take center and any other area. So even if I don't like being pincered, I do like pincering, especially because after the pincer you get to you get some tempo, like especially if your opponent just takes the corner, as happened here. I get the next move and I can decide where we are continue, and then I have a pincer already ready, and I have a very light and flexible shape down here, so it's just nice timing to go toward the other corner. We play out a different type of 4-3 attachment Joseki. In this case, black tries to take the corner. So this happens, then in this variation usually you want to connect, and then stuff like this should happen where you just get another wall. But black probably didn't want that because I already have a nice stone here that helps my wall. So she instead opted to undercut my group, but unfortunately this doesn't actually work because this cut is too big. According to AI, I didn't play it out properly. Like there was some variation that continues down here, but the problem with this is that this is just a messy fight now. Either I take the middle, and then black still has his corner, which would probably be a good result. The next time I would probably play it. But what I was reading out was something more akin like this, which is still a valid move by black. And then it's just becoming messy, complicated. I didn't want messy, complicated at this point in the game. I just wanted strong outside influence to go with the stones that I already put down. So I ended up taking the cut. We did some exchanges, and I got a very strong group in the corner. I'm ahead by 14 points right now, so there's not really anything I should worry about. So yeah, we played out some more Josekis. In this case, this is one of my biggest problems right now, probably, to know when to pincer and when not to pincer. I figured killing this pincer would be very nice with the follow-up over here. And I mean, it's not a bad move, but because I still have this flexible shape, and there are some light issues here, probably would have been better to just stay strong on the corner and then invade this later on if I get the chance. But anyway, I was not reasonable, and with that, my trouble started, as you can see in the graph. Like if I had just taken my strong shape, I probably would have been pretty fine with the rest of the game. Right. So obviously there's now the problem with my stick being attacked, and I think one of the really good things about the Go Congress is that you constantly learn a ton of new stuff. Like every game that you play is so intense that you read out a million variations, make a million thoughts about every shape, and then when you analyze them, you actually have a very good foundation to learn better shapes, better moves from this. And basically, like I kind of knew some shape issues with this black shape on the right to get out, but I didn't really understand how pressing they were. So for white to just take this stone is pretty much enough to solve all of the issues because of the cut that black might have if he wants to attack you more thoroughly. And even then, there's just there's just nothing for black. Like I'm just safe. I get my wall. I now get to attack the rest of the game. If I just play this, I'm completely, the game is not over, but I don't have anything to worry about for the time being. And I did not do that, which was uh, daring because the cut. I tried to just cut it off very directly and very aggressively, and it doesn't really seem to work. Um, like this is a fight that I was a bit scared to read out because of black leaning and everyone running out. I do not like running fights. So I was just trying to get some kind of exchange, one cut, just live somewhere, get an eye, but it totally doesn't work. Like all of this fails. Um, well, it doesn't fail. Like it works for what I was reading out. Like I'm getting my life, but I'm losing like as you saw, I lost like 10 points during that variation because black gets so much stronger on the outside. And yeah, it kind of wasn't a good decision because there's so much cut RG, everything, like even just this Hana, this cut coming down here for black, this attachment later on, especially if I lose another Liberty on the outside. Like there's so many issues, and I wouldn't have needed to deal with those issues. I could have just stayed strong and then attacked. Instead, I made myself have a million weaknesses, and I think from the first game, this was my first big learning that I'm trying to really, understand. Like if, and especially in that shape, you just exchange those moves that are yours to take. You're so much stronger to actually, do any of the other stuff, and I totally neglected that. But yeah, now I know. I was reading out some cuts and throw-ins and all kinds of good stuff. It shouldn't have worked. It kind of did because Black played the wrong variation, so we don't need to go over that. But in the end, I'm still like lost all of my lead here. Let's see if I play just this one. Yeah, still 3 points below. So yeah, so what I basically ended up doing was giving Black all the strength, made his group strong. I have 0 avenues to attack. Black cannot even connect his groups, kinda, because I put a stone here that I had no real business putting here. It's just in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I don't think the mid-game strategy here was particularly good. I think there was um, that left a lot to be desired. Let's just put it that way. But like I think at least I got a very clear idea of why my mid-game strategy for this game was completely all over the place and how I could, be more stable from that in the coming games. And I think that worked. Anyway, we are playing out some other Joseki shenanigans. As soon as Black protects his cut, I get the chance to capture the corner in a big way, which is pretty good because I'm feeling pretty happy if I get at least some kind of territory. This was a big problem. If I just played here, I would have just, taken my entire top. There wouldn't have been that much for Black to do, and we would have, and the game would have probably been decided with how Black attacks my very light shape. But as you can already see, Black is strong on the right, is strong on the left, and now if he gets another move on the top, it's going to be pretty hard for the shape to, do anything worthwhile because you can just uh, be attacked from all sides, and Black will just make points everywhere. So not the best idea in the world at this point. Let's go back. So yeah, I played this cut. because I figured I need to be a little bit more active, and I thought it worked. And I think it kind of would work if I find the right move and just pull back here. And then we at least have, this type of fight that's kind of sort of semi center. So yeah, that looks like, a fight. I'm still pretty much alive. I have a group in the middle that I can run to with my flexible shape. Black still needs another move. So, this looks like what I was expecting if I had read out the fight properly, and I suppose that just teaches me to do more Tsumego and more reading practice, because that would have saved me a lot of trouble. But alas, mistakes have been made, so yeah, I'm basically about to give up this group of stones, because I couldn't really see a way how this works. But it kind of does. Like, there's this kind of thing, so I can still get it out. It was a stupid reading error, which is probably the story of some of my games at this tournament. So yeah, there's a weakness here in this group, and I just wanted to get some strength towards the middle now to help out my left side. I'm pretty happy with how that went. This is all fine. My group is now semi-connected, so I don't have, anything to worry about. Yeah, so basically at this point, there's only one territory left, because black has pretty strong group in the middle to reduce anything in the center. I have not strong wall, but it's a very large wall that black can't really attack. So black also can't do anything in the middle. So the biggest sides are the left and the right. And since I didn't want black to just, take the entire left side without any competition, that's where we went next. So we did some exchanges, we had some fights, and yeah, I was a bit surprised how black handled this, because I figured we'd have more of a fight in the middle, and then I wouldn't really get to make anything, and black just walks out. But I suppose she might have been afraid of being captured and caught, but like, I don't think there's any real reason for that, because she has a very strong group as friends nearby, and my group is still very weak, so there's nothing to really be afraid of. So let's check how this continued. Yeah, I took the opportunity to just capture this group, because it said, like, it solved all of my problems, and now I was pretty happy to just try to make points. But as you can already see in the analysis, I'm actually 10 points behind, and at this point I also noticed that it's getting hard for me to actually make the points that I need, because of all the pushes and pokes and peeps black can use to, build also something in the middle, while I probably get less on the lower side. I tried anyway, but that was also doomed to fail, because it's just not enough. I tried to reduce the middle, but again, black found a nice way to just protect. At this point I got a little bit desperate, and I'm only 7 points behind, so I actually made up some ground in the mid game, which is good. But I figured I can get something out of those cuts. And again, reading arrow, do your Tsumego people. So yeah, I should have just taken the influence and, just strengthened my territory a bit. I figured even if this fight goes wrong, though, I can probably get at least some center moves on the outside, so it shouldn't be bad. And I could have, but I ended up choosing poorly once more, which was this variation. So basically, I went down here, and then black got this in center, which I totally missed, because if black gets this move in center, I need to react, kinda, or at least black gets too strong for me to get any more outside moves. If I just play the other variation, though, black is down to 1 liberty, he needs to extend, it's down to 2 liberties now, and now I can actually threaten to capture. So this would have been, what I actually wanted and good enough for me to, take points and then just try to reduce other areas of the board. But again, I did not. And because I did not, I went a bit crazy. I tried to, cut off some stuff, tried to reduce some more. I was pretty happy to get this jump down here because it seems like I can actually, use some of those cuts to my advantage, and I probably could have, but I didn't use them properly, so I also got into a little bit of trouble there. All trouble, but I was relatively happy with, picking up some new points on the left side. Black is now ahead firmly by 23 points, so I didn't really improve my situation, but I felt like it's, I'm making progress, which apparently I didn't. There was some very annoying snapbacks here, so Black found a really cool sequence to cut through my territory either on the left or the right side. I seem to have chosen fine with what happened because I at least got out in center. Again, reading error, I didn't realize Black can just cut off my stones, and there's nothing I can do. This is just some endgame stuff that doesn't really matter. Endgame. And then I finally got this move over here, which actually is worth a lot more than I gave it credit for the entire game because of how much Black can actually reduce all of this right side, because the threat to link up to those two Black stones is actually pretty big. We talked about my eyes over here, and then Black tried to invade still because I'm not sure why. Like at this point, I was pretty sure that she was ahead by like at least 15 points. So if she just plays out the end game, then there is no trouble. So this was also a cool way to be reminded of counting properly, and then if you're ahead, you just don't need to make any more trouble. Just play out the end game and take all the nice small points that you get from that. So we played out this stuff on the right side that I can kill, which I did. There is some more cut agi here, some more reductions. Nothing really spectacular. That was his core on the top. Now the upper right group is actually a little bit in danger because if this works, Black might actually get to, do some kind of snapback Atari thing as soon as I don't have any liberties anymore. So I need to be a bit of careful about that. Yes, we're still fighting for this group, but she can't really save it, so this is all fine. Just endgame points. Endgame points. Yeah, this is all just endgame. Oh yeah, right. There's one interesting thing that happened because as you can see, I'm now only behind by like 5 points, which is almost only because of her effort to try to, invade and cut more of me. So she actually got me back in the game just by trying that. There was a huge error that we both didn't read out. Like you can just take a second if you can read it out what happens here if Black cuts. It's not hard to read out if you know that there's something. So let's just play it out. So this is Atari. If I defend this one stone, she gets another Atari, and again she gets another Atari, and if I defend once more, she can just play here to capture this entire group. So that would have been very painful, but thankfully neither of us saw that. Endgame, 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 kill the group, endgame, group is dead. So, and like my last trick that I had, like this shape is probably very alive, but I tried my best anyway to, make some trouble here. Because at this point when I counted, I realized that it's a very close game, so I just wanted maybe make a group that she actually needs to, capture, maybe get some more, maybe get a Seki, like anything in here would be cool. So that's what we ended up doing now. But yeah, as I said, I realized that just playing it didn't work. So I instead wanted to get a preparation move in and hoped that she wouldn't react to the preparation move. And after I ended up living, we ended up playing this out. And this was pretty painful for her because it ended up losing her the game. She could have probably prevented all of it because it should have just led to me picking up a few points in Ko if I, in my variation. I could have apparently played this and then this, and then we have a Ko for her to approach my stones. So if she can never approach my stones as a stack, it's a Seki in this variation. This is also what happened in the game, but with just a slight different exchange. So again, it's her turn right now. She cannot play here because then I can just capture the entire group. And if she throws in, I get the same thing. I just capture once and now she still can't approach. So this Ko is really, really important for her to capture my group. And so we fight this Ko. I took basically the only Ko threat that I had. I was pretty scared at this point. I don't know why, but I sometimes never end up with having many Ko threats at the end of the game. I took another Ko threat that kinda was no Ko threat. Like, oh wait, no, what was it a Ko threat? I can't even. Oh yeah, right. Of course, it's a Ko threat because it's Atari right now. Okay, yeah, I took the Atari. And then she threw in, which is another Ko threat to just capture the corner directly, so I need to capture back. And now I needed to find another Ko threat. I was hoping that, yeah, so this was, I think this was the last Ko threat on the entire board for me. Like there's nothing else that would be big enough. Like there's another Atari on the left group, so she captured Ko threat. She found another one, I captured Ko threat. There's now a very small Ko threat over here, which, as you can see, according to AI, she should have ignored. So I didn't. I just ended up not playing a Ko threat. I just gave up on the Ko because I didn't see how any of this would have worked. I just played my shake move, and for some, like if she just connects the Ko, it still doesn't work because she gets into the same trouble. So she would have needed to. She needed to actually increase the Ko. Let's go back. So yeah, this Ko was pretty bad. So I didn't really see how any of this would have worked out for me because as I said, I don't really have any more Ko threats, and she has felt like she still had a million, especially up here. So what I ended up doing was connecting, and she just forgot about the Ko. I do not know why. I won the game because she forgot that we're actually playing a Ko for the life of the group for the Seki. And that ended up winning me the game, and I won by 5 points. This game didn't really feel like I deserved to win. Like she played much better, especially in the with all the fights in the mid game. And it was a real wake up call for me to put some work in with the analysis and the opening strategy, and being more careful with which fight I pick. Because people are good. Like people at the Congress are really good. Like all of those opponents are, you know, very good. It's so cool to have games on this level, fair games, even games. So what did we learn? So someone asked me about mid-game strategy. I don't think this is the best game for mid-game strategy because I think I fucked up pretty much everything that I could have done in the mid-game, starting from this pincer, which was just in the middle of nowhere, and black can just create strength before attacking it. So that was the first mistake. Not making my group strong was the second. So I did many small mistakes that actually prevented me from coming out ahead in the mid game, what I usually do in my games. So yeah, once I actually got to decide on stuff, which after this, I was actually already in a bit of trouble. So when we look at this, I have a group on the right. I'm behind by a few points. Black has a lot of potential to attack me. So my only real issue right now, my only real strategy right now was to prevent me from having too many weaknesses that black can just exploit constantly. So I just need to, get some more strength to the middle, try to connect my groups a bit. And after that, after there's no real big issue with my groups, then I just try to invade and reduce everything. And that's a fine strategy. I mean, that's pretty simple, but that's as far as the development of the first game went. I think there was at least a game plan that kept me in the game. If I had tried anything more crazy, even if just, this, I can easily see that I probably would have gotten into more trouble because in hindsight, I don't really know how I could have prevented black from, attacking this shape for all it's worth from every side and angle, and then just building all the things on the outside. According to AI, this is still, good, but I didn't see how I can play this and still make up the deficit in points that I had. So yeah, what did I learn? Again, opening pincer, when to pincer and when not to pincer. It's something that I'm really trying to think more about in terms of game development during the Congress games because that's becoming really important. This shape on the top right, like it's so big to just play here, get it blocked, and then this is the shape that the AI is suggesting because whenever black, like let me just show you how this can look like. Like this, maybe. So black has really no real avenue to threaten to connect, like otherwise 3 would be a good point for black to threaten to connect underneath. Black doesn't have that anymore. So, I'm just having a safe, strong group. I cannot really be attacked constantly. So yeah, this is just something that I will play probably in a game soon just to get this shape out of the way and not get attacked through for 50 moves. Another thing was this move, which I'm not sure how much worse this is right now. 2 points is actually quite a lot worse. So let's just see how that shape looks like. And as you can see, I get a bit more strength on the outside, but black actually gets to threaten this connection, and this is a much better shape for black to actually do anything over here. If white comes on top, let's just be very simple. Oh, this is actually just a way to connect, so this is just very bad. But depending on what white does, black also has this at some point. Maybe not now because white can just cut it, but there's more potential for black to do anything, and you really need to be careful what to exchange here. If you just play this one for the shape and fight and to be able to play anything else on the board, which again in this case would be good because I already have a wall and strong group on the other side, so I can actually look into building this whole territory on the top, or if I just need to get out. Yeah, so this was, I think, my biggest learnings for this game. Not sure if I forgot anything. Staying strong. I tried to stay stronger in the tournament and actually leave less of those nasty chop 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 cuts. Shout out to Inseong, he makes great workshops. Yeah, so that was my first tournament game. As I said, it was very lucky in the end. I need to choose my fights better. But still, it was a very interesting and very intense start to the tournament, and it prepared me mentally for what was to come. Alright, I hope you enjoyed looking at the game. Let me see how you liked it, because I'm not sure if I otherwise do all tournament games. Alright, see ya.